Okay, so it's like 3:15, but I've been up an hour. I just woke up and I was just laying there and laying there. And something I noticed, and most of y'all won't remember, but I had gotten a mattress. And I keep trying to think, when did I get it? Because I talked about it a lot, because there was a whole thing about that energy. But there's a whole new energy in my room. I swear to God, my room is in a portal or something. It is weird as fuck. So fucking weird in my room. And my room is small, but it also encompasses that whole back area, like the hallway. Always lately, there's been a lot of traffic in there again. Every fucking time I go into the bathroom, I feel like there's all these people that all of a sudden are like, it's so fucking weird. And every time I walk down there, there's something lurking in my bedroom, staring out at me. And it's like, oh my God, I'm ignoring you. I don't even know what the fuck. I'm just like, God damn, I'll be glad when this shit is fully open. Like fully open. Which I swear to God, I hope it is September 23rd, 2023. And not September 23rd, 2024, or September 23rd, 2025. I mean, everybody's really banking on it being this September 23rd, but I don't know that in any of these shows it all said it was going to be in 2023. All of them say 20, I don't know, they say all different things. Some say there's going to be an asteroid thing. Some say there's going to be a solar flash thing. Some say there's going to be, oh, that would be cool, you know, if we'd already gone. But the people who aren't awake, see? But maybe they go through the healing. Ah, man, I fuck. And there's other people who, you go in and you try and ask your guides or try, but see, we're not meant to know. It's not meant to be, just like we're not meant to know our day that we're going to die, or when anything significant is gonna, like, I can know things. It's weird because there was things I knew, fuck, such a long time before. That's what I needed. That's why they probably keep pointing that out to me, because that's my struggle with time. It's like I'll know something, and so I think it's about to happen, as I'll know something so far ahead. It's like, fuck. But anyways, but there's lots of people asking, you know, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And it's like, you know, I just got to ride it out. And just keep trusting. Nothing can happen to us. This is an illusion. It's just an illusion. And we're caught up in the story because it's part of the illusion. You know, it's part of the experience. It's like when they made those rides, remember when they started making those rides at places, because I don't think you had to go to an amusement park for it. But you could go and you would sit on this thing, and then a screen would start going, and they'd start moving your chairs, and it would be like it's a whole thing. That's kind of what this incarnating or something, this being able to project ourselves and see, it's kind of like so we can experience the thing. It's not just watching it on a screen. We get to come in and experience it, because we get to put these like gloves on so that it's like we get strapped into the chair by birthing into the little glove. And then we birth into the glove so that we can get into the ride, so that we can feel it. Because it's not near as fun to sit up in the heavens and just watch. Like the watchers and stuff, they like to watch. It's an interesting watch, like how we like to watch a crime movie or something like that, like crime shows, how they're so popular, and the way that, you know, breaking down and seeing how this happened and how that happened and stuff. So it's interesting for the watchers to watch us, and for the lurkers, the ones that are like lurking around, like I mean, I feel like we're in a heavy interchange all the time. Like we've got other realms going, we've got other like there's weak spots in the universe where everything kind of merges. That's what they use as portals. But the weak spots is where there's this merging. So like where I think like, fuck, one of these times I could go down my goddamn hall and I'd probably end up back in Egypt, back where I belong, back in the ancient days. But anyways, this because that wasn't even the stuff I was going to talk about. Let me think of, oh, I'm obviously going to be all over the place. Okay, let me think. So 2 o'clock, I got up. Okay. Oh, yeah, because I wanted to talk about that because it was fucking, this is weird, man. Okay, so I got that mattress and I was laying in there and I started, in my one hip, see, I started getting aches and pains where I swear to God she has them. I swear to God. I have noticed this so many times. Like we are so connected to things that we don't realize. But she'll have pain and then I'll start feeling it on my own. And when I'll go back and remember, like she don't want me to do the Reiki. I don't know how the fuck she always figures it out. I'm not shitting you guys. Like I could do a test in front of everybody and see. I'm not just making this shit up. It just freaks me out. I couldn't believe it even the other day when I tried it again after all that time. And she's laying there asleep. She can still feel like me pulling that energy. It's like, what in the holy hell? So anyways, so I'm laying back there and this one hip keeps hurting. And I'm sure it's because that's what I was hurting hers. And it has this like ache and it also has this like direct pain thing. And I think it may be like her cyst or something. And, but it also is hurting down, like, and I keep thinking it's my bony butt. And if I've got like a bone spur or something, it just hurts. It feels like some stabbing more than normal. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's like this motherfucking old chair that I sit in. And I swear to God, if this is another fucking lockdown winter, this chair is getting redone. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna take all this fabric off. I'm gonna redo the cushion. I'm gonna fucking make this cushion soft as fuck. And so I'm gonna redo this for sure. And that's gonna be my one project. Plus I'll probably crochet some more blankets or something because I love doing that. And definitely do some more paintings. I gotta get back onto that. But it's just weird energy, man. It's just so weird lately. It feels like I'm walking around in dirt. I mean, it feels like, not like I'm walking around, it feels like heavy. Like those people were walking around the mud, it feels heavy. But then I also feel light. Like, kind of like, like a ghost trying to move through the world, but people can still see me. But it's just I feel weird. I feel strange. And anyways, so I woke up and I was laying there, and start flipping around, and I start thinking, is there a motherfucking hole in my bed? Like I've been laying in this motherfucker for, 30 years or something? Like is the goddamn bed off of the Willy Wonka or something? Like what the hell? And I'm sitting there thinking, this bed is new. I haven't even had it that long. And I have no concept of time. And I have to, if I try and figure out, I have to go through so many landmarks. I ask my daughter, oh, when did we do that? And then there's so many times like once that started happening in my life, when I got my brain injury, there was so many times I was just like, fuck it. Fuck it. Does it really matter? There's so many things, I swear to God, once I got a brain injury, that I started having to just be like, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. And I just really realized how much we hold on to stupid ass shit. Like everybody just needs to get a little like wash out. Just wash all the bullshit out. Just anything that's staying stuck, that's what you need to work on. But try and just wash out the shit. Like, fuck. So much of our energy is like, holding on to anger and bitterness and, somebody has slighted me. Oh, nobody thinks I'm perfect enough. Like, oh my God. And how we just try and replay things to make sure, this I was going to say confirmation bias, but this thing that happens where we're trying to always make sure that what we believe is what is true. So we look for our messages, but the whole thing is we're creating it. And once we realize it, then we can flip this thing over. And then all of a sudden it changes everything, but you got to do some work. It doesn't just flip all by itself. It's work, just like this flipping our whole entire society. It's got some work to it. But so anyways, when I was laying in and I was thinking, there's a goddamn hole in my fucking mattress. And the whole thing with the mattress anyways, it has fucked with my head so much. Like, these fucking mattress places, it's such a fucking scheme. It's like a laundry situation, 100%. There's something weird with that. And then, you know, especially like Mattress Firm and all these places, you know, and then, what, for all I know, my mattress could be made with dried up, like, there's just no darling, I swear to you, God. It's just, this is all so much. It's all so much. I swear to God. Like, I don't even know. When people start having all of this stuff hitting them, you know, all of our souls decided how we were going to maneuver this, when we were going to realize, what we were going to realize, what things that were going to matter to us. All of us already had planned this ahead, you know. We already saw the game. We already knew because we could see it. That's why I say we're like in a replay. It's like it's already written, but then we come in so that we can be on the ride to feel. What does it feel like? We already saw it. It was written, but now what does it feel like? So that's us. That's what we're doing. But we aren't. We're still a part of ourselves. We're a projection of ourselves. And it's so crazy because some people's selves can be, you know, multiple selves down there. Some people's higher self is like got a lot of characters in the game, you know, it's all different. But I swear to God, this whole thing of this coming into consciousness as a sovereign being has to do with that exactly happening. You, even if you are a higher self, like a higher self of like, you know, a whole bunch of people, and you always go back to that higher self part of you. And there's a part of the conscious development where we become separate from that. Just like we're separating from the herd mentality. We're separating from that group think. We're coming into our own minds. So we are pulling free. And it's the same thing on the micro macro, if you think of it like that. And so it is, now I've got two different, it's like you get two things going in there. So let me make sure I stay on track. Because it's like a crossroads. Go this way or go that way. And so, anyways, okay, well, I'm going to go back to this other thing. And so, the whole thing in the bed, and so then I'm like, fuck. Do you even call? Do you even say, is this just what we've come to, you know? Mattresses just, you know, they don't last very long. They just built as shitty as everything else, and just everything just jacked up. I just saw this guy's video. He was so irritated too. He was so irritated, and I get so fucking tired of everybody just, well, those boomers and these Gen Zs and X Z. Oh my God, people, let's get off the fucking labels. God damn. And plus the way that it always turns into a weapon, you know. And, you know, I just so happened to get lumped into the boomers because we were this forgotten group that they didn't label us. We were like in this middle, and then they kind of all of a sudden added a bunch of us into the next one, and then put some of us back in the back one. It's just weird because they didn't know what to do with us, I guess. But I got into back in the back one because was born in 61. So then I became a boomer. I think it's 64 is where they turned it into your Gen X. So it was just stupid because the 60s we weren't classified as something like that. I don't remember when they actually started Gen X. I think it was, I swear to God, it was like late 70s. I don't even know how many people all these groups encompass and stuff. Like, I don't look into them. I just remember when it very first started, and I started hearing boomer, and it would be said like on a show or on the news or something. This is how they do it. This is how they start their labeling system. You know, I was there that day. Stake my flag, like fucking on the moon, because this is what this fucking exploration's like. This is like a game. You know, what did you notice? What did you see? How aware were you? What were you paying attention to back then? All this is funny. Okay, let me get a drink. Hold on. Because I did just make a cup of tea. Okay, so so I'm laying there in the thing, and I'm like, okay, this is some bullshit. I just was fucking with my head in all sorts of ways. So I get up and I come out, and Stella was still in there. She was conked out. Because sometimes when I become aware of the room, like I meet back up with myself, then I will always wonder, well, where's Stella? And because sometimes she'll move around the house a lot during the night, and I'll know where she's at. But then I'll think like she's right next to me, and then I'll reach down and she's not down there. And so then it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice her moving around. That always trips me out. But so she was still laying in there, and I came out here, and then I saw it was like 2:15. I was like, fuck, I feel awake. This is another thing too, that I'm really trying to stay off of schedules or mindsets or something. Like the other day I thought, I felt great after 6 hours of sleep. I felt great. I was fine all day long. And then the next night, I think I slept like 8 or 9 hours. And then I don't even remember yesterday how I felt. I just feel weird. That's all I can say, is I feel weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like I can see it. It's so weird. Telepathy, like everything they have done is just to fuck with us. Telepathy is so much more, but it is like ink blot too. But I swear to God, it's like we can see something and we just can understand it. It's just different. And so, it's just, I don't know. It's just different. And I don't know how everybody else's minds work. But, and yesterday, the wood guy, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday the wood guy messaged me. He said, sorry I hadn't gotten back to you or something. I can come Wednesday night. And, and it's like Thursday morning. It's going to probably be rushed. And I'm trying to do my sourdough start. And, it's my first one I've ever done. And I hope it's going to be ready, because I'm going to have to, I could make the sourdough low. I could make, I don't know what the fuck I even think I need to rush about. Like, well, I've got my stuff out. I'm ready to make my bread. It's like, what? I got all fucking day. God damn. Only other thing I got now is a wood delivery coming, and no way am I going to be able to get all that wood put up before I leave. No fucking way. But that may be really, really good, because then it's sitting out in the driveway like that. And being gone for a few days, that will put off somebody, because they'll think that the cars moved because of the wood or something. So I don't know. I think it will help, because these people, there's lots of people around here that go and steal and stuff from. They just go up and go in people's yards and steal. But mine's all fenced, so at least if they go and try and get in. And at night, I keep my lights off. I'm not going to give them light to go out there and walk around. I have security lights. They'll come on. And the other night, I was sitting out on the couch, and one of them came on and freaked me out. But just him messaging me, the whole thing just seemed like, everything seems weird. Like it's like an energetic synchronization or something on the planet. And how people keep saying, like, it feels like things are speeding up. It feels like things are slowing down. It's like that. It just feels like very chaotic, like super chaotic in the energy. Like, it feels so weird. And everything is just getting louder, and it's weird. But fuck, I don't know. Whatever goes down today, I guess. If shit is gonna go down, though, I sure the fuck hope it goes. But see, it is where we're always supposed to be, where we're supposed to be. And so what was getting me this morning was because, they're not telling it. And who knows how much shit is distraction. They cause chaos out there to, just make news. And so they put a storm over a bunch of hippies out in the desert. So to cause problems, just so everybody talk about, because they got everybody talking about it. And then they release these misinformation people onto social media who say crazy things. And then they get everybody talking about that and getting worried, getting scared and what's going on, because it's just nonstop. It's like we're in a tornado of shit going on. And then we have, it's mental. And so let me think what I was saying. So the Burning Man, if it were, okay. So if the Burning Man thing was meant to distract us because of all this money thing going on, because that is if it's going to lean in like what it is looking like, it's going to be fucked, man. Like, I swear, I hope they just do this fast. I hope that this isn't going to drag out. Like, this would be where people are going to start burning shit down. Because apparently how we had to buy our oil. And remember how much Trump kept saying, we need to get our oil here. We need to get our oil. And I always said that, especially growing up in Texas. Then there was oil wells everywhere. And when there started being this oil crisis, because then remember, I'm back in the day where we had to go and line up for gas. And that's back when we were paying like 50 cents a gallon. And we would have to wait in lines by a number of our car and shit. And so I would always be like, well, we got all this oil here. Why are we buying it from how does someone else controlling it? And they were trying to push hard on I think it was Gaddafi, where they were demonizing at the time. Because in Libya, he was like a fucking saint, and they don't like that. And so, they've fucking imprisoned the Hawaiian king. Anybody who was good with their people, fuck that. They want to fucking go in, cause chaos, destroy the government, manipulate. Oh, it's just do it over and over and over and over. This is what these people have been doing and doing and doing. And and their whole reset thing, when they burned everything down to try and control and contain us, like they already had their plan in motion. Like, fuck. There's just so much stuff, man. I can't wait until we really get more truth about it all. But so okay, so what they've done now, the BRICS thing, so they have made the dollar have no value, and now it's something about the oil. And so because we have no value, how do we buy this now from these other people? Like, if we had it here, it'd be our own. But that's the thing that they've done this whole time, is make sure that you are having to outsource your resources. So they go in and they destroy it in the communities. And then, so you have to get it from somewhere else, so it's controlled. And it's always controlled by them, because they're the ones up at the top. And so they're just this mastering the control over our resources. And then they can drive up prices and shit. And that's what that one guy, that boomer guy, the guy who was all upset about the boomer situation, or was talking about this conversation he had with this woman. And he was saying, she's boomer. And I was really all in on the conversation, but then they always turned. It's like, fuck, dude. And, but he was talking about the prices and stuff. Is this woman, she's 80, and her husband have been retired for 30 years in this conversation. So the guy was like, what? You retired when you were 50? And she said, like, I wouldn't even be sitting there running those numbers. It's weird how we all perceive and think differently. Like, if somebody was telling me that wouldn't be how I was thinking. But so he started asking her, like, well, how'd you do that? And so she said that her husband had some, just regular job. He got way back in the 70s. He worked it for 30 years. He had a pension, and he retired at 50 on his pension. She had a job as a grocery store clerk, and she had a full pension and all that, and she retired after 20 years. And then they retired. They had bought their house in the 70s for $30,000, 6 acres in Southern California, in a house for $30,000. And that's paid off, and they got some kind of a tax thing. There was some kind of a thing. So their taxes could never go up. And so they still pay the taxes the same price, which they think is so great, but taxes is bullshit. $600 a year. And so then, and there was some more stuff. Oh yeah, because then after they retired, Then they spent 30 years just in their RV traveling all over the United States. They've been everywhere, all over, over and over and over and over and over for 30 years. And he was just like, what the fuck? And he's like, there's no fucking way he's ever going to get anything like that. And he's irritated kind of that, you know, that his age person is paying that age person's retire Social Security when they're paying it and they're not going to get it. And so he's kind of irritated about that. And then, yeah, but he was really mad because, you know, how dare boomers get to live that life and then be upset for younger people, which he went through all the different groups, whatever, all the labels. And for all of them, that they don't get that same thing and that they want to be socialist. Well, you know, how dare you say anything when you got to live like that? It's just like, you know, everybody wants to live this other way. They just don't realize, you know, what happened because we've been in this takeover for so long and they don't get it. Like I just saw a school teacher and she was so confused. I've seen so many different school teacher videos. Hold on a sec. All different kinds of perspectives. Oh, it's a variety. But there is a lot, you know, the same with the nurses. There's a lot of nurses who are like, you know, a lot of nurses turned against medical. A lot of doctors, too, turned against medical through this. So it's the same in the education. A lot of teachers, but ones that are still, you know, just trying to do a good job and stuff. And so she was so confused and so just upset. Like it's giving her an existential crisis. And I completely relate to that because when I lost my nursing license, it was like I lost my identity. It was like a total identity crisis because we relate so heavily on our job thing. And that was the thing where at the end of the Barbie, if they were going to push that, is that was the way to go find herself was to get a job. I was going to be like, no, okay, that was the woke shit. But no, it didn't do that. It was another thing that she went to go find herself. But anyways, so much noise sometimes. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna go back. Okay, so that guy, even with the boomer thing, when they had come up with that, it was weird because it was like they were talking about the boomers and shit on the news and shit, or they would just be boomers. So you start hearing boomers, and I started being like, "What's a boomer?" And then it was like, okay, well, it's because there was a big baby boom after World War II, and there was all these kids that were born, and they were called boomers. And then I was like, oh, and that was my parents. My parents were boomers. And they came from that baby boom after the war. And so then it's weird how, fuck, there's a lot of weird shit, man. Time and date, they just fuck with us all the fucking time. And so anyways, so it's like they were introducing this labeling system or something, because then there was just like nothing. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was a little older and all of a sudden they were saying there was these Gen X, and they made it all sound real cool too. Gen X, man, the Gen X people. Yeah, those fucking Gen X. And so then I was like, well, what the fuck? So there's these boomers back here, and then there's these fucking cool ass Gen X people up here. It's like, well, what the fuck are we? Like, are we anything? Like, what are we? And so it kind of left, you know, where I kept being like, well, that doesn't seem fair. I thought it was cool as shit to be a boomer. Now I think it's fucking cool as shit to be Gen X. And then we're just all out here just being a big old nothing. And then it wasn't until I went on TikTok and I started seeing all these people talking shit about boomers and stuff, and then seeing like, oh, so now like I would get called a boomer and shit all the time. So I started going and looking it up, and they had changed it. And they had made it, but now, you know, and I mean, you can be 30 and called a boomer if you're, it's just like a derogatory term to say to somebody older. Like, I mean, a 12-year-old could say it to a 20-year-old. You know, it doesn't really have to do with the age. It has to do with who's talking to you. Because it's a derogatory way to say, you, fuck off. You don't fucking matter. Shut the fuck up, you fucking boomer. You know, like, you're outdated. You don't matter. And so it became a derogatory term. But that was when I looked it up and I saw that they changed it. They couldn't leave us out there with nothing. They split us down the middle and pushed us out. And so, anyways, I was just like, okay, so they're really on this labeling thing. But I remember the introduction, because now is that every 10 years or something is a new group. But, it, you know, I mean, it's a part of the gathering data on the lab experiment of us and what we do and how we behave. And there's somebody who is just having this whole thing about the CIA's release on the astral travel or something like that. And it's all this fucking shit. Oh, I've not read their stuff. I have not read any of those CIA things. All this shit that I get fucking told is all real. Like, the CIA fucking knows. Like, it's such bullshit. But anyways, all that shit will come out more and more. But it's just when you see people talking about it, it is different, you know. There's some people who are just learning about it, and then there's some people who it's like confirmation. Oh yeah, the teacher. So the teacher said that she had come to class. So it was Tuesday, and everybody had a long weekend. It's supposed to be, you know, everybody goes camping or whatever, has parties and shit. And so she starts asking them all, like, what'd you do? Wasn't it great? Are you glad to be back? And all this shit. And she said they all just looked at her whole class. Just did nothing. Just sat there and looked at her. And she was like, what's going on with you guys? And somehow in the conversation, she said, you know, just be honest. What's going on? And they all said, this is stupid. Look, this is so pointless. What are we doing here? School, it makes it, you know, and they want nothing to do with it. Whole fucking class. And so she said, then it was every single class. She teaches 10th and 11th. And every single class was the exact same. And she was feeling really sad. Like, she was like, I mean, I'm trying to be, like, positive. Like, what am I doing? Like, they don't see any value in this. They don't, and it was, like, kind of sad, you know, because she thinks she's doing good works. She doesn't understand. You've been handed a curriculum as a babysitter from a government institution to indoctrinate children, and they're waking up, and they're saying, like, this makes no sense, you know, especially when you get to be that age. You don't even need a babysitter. So, fuck yeah, it's like, what am I doing here? How is this going to help me? Everybody's sitting at home listening to their parents talk about bills and not getting ahead. And, you know, just like, you know, before, you didn't have to have a college education. You just had to be dedicated to your job, and they would give you money and appreciate your loyalty. So you got out of retirement. You know, it was back when the economy was different. We weren't taken over, it was back when the takeover by the corporation was just kind of getting going, because they had to go in and destroy all the small businesses, the mom and pop places and stuff, buy people out. That was a big thing, you know. So many people thought, oh, they're so lucky. This corporation bought them out, and now they're rich. It's like, fuck. Yay. So, anyways, it's going to be more and more, hold on. There's going to be more and more of this, I think. You know, students waking up. There's a lot of kids out there saying a lot of really smart shit. And this is the change. It is perspective. It is starting to listen and see things differently. And, but, okay, so the oil thing. So what they're saying is that they're going to, now when we get to buy the oil, we have no leverage. And this is all about the takedown of us. So Joe's put in place to take us down. He's not there to, like, make a good plan. It's not like we have Trump in there who's, like, making us go back to independence. So we have our resources in-house. No, it's the other way around. So Joe is, he is a part of it, the collapse. But this is also what, if you've been following along with any Q or any of that kind of stuff, then you knew like all this had to happen. It all had to go under Joe. The collapse was coming, but they had to make sure that he was the one who it went under. Like, it's like this, like how people say it's this game of chess. It's them always making these moves and stuff. And all these moves were all determined by these supercomputers and stuff. Like this isn't just, like how people are always like Trump's playing 5D chess and stuff like that. But they're always a step ahead, but they have technology. It's the technology that is the assistance, whereas like as a spiritual being, you don't need the technology. Like you don't need an algorithm. You just talk to your guides and tell them what you want. And so as a spiritual being, as you're working on your spirit, that it's like you're getting the same kind of thing. Like you can see into the future. Like sometimes you can see way far. And so you can see into it. And when you know things, there's a whole thing to that. There's a lot of lessons. It's like different levels. We're all playing different levels. And so, but as a spiritual person, you can get a lot of what technology, that's why there's going to be this pairing, this quantum pairing that is going to occur. Like technology is going to come up. Like technology has been going up because it's been handed down. But they've been repressing it, but it's going to like come up and meet where we are spiritually. Like it's going to be more in tune with us. It's going to be kind of like we can direct this. It's going to be different. We're going to have to learn a lot about it. It's going to be kind of different. But so the oil, what they're saying is going to come, while we got all these distractions of storms and all this shit going down, you just get hit one thing after another. And then all of a sudden it's going to be, gas is going to be like $15 to maybe $30 a gallon. Like nobody's going to be able to go in. Nobody's going to go work. How many people live far away from their jobs? Like the people who live right close, is another push for that 15-minute city, boy. If you lived close, see, you'd be able to get there. But why do I want to keep why do I want to keep this place going? Why and who's going to be coming in? Nobody's going to, that will stop everything dead. The gas goes up like that. People can't afford to buy food. And so that will be some chaos. That will be when some shit will go down. It goes like that. Like people get so mad, like even in California where I think it's like 6. But that is where it's like, fuck, god damn. So, yeah, fuck. And you're going to go out on a road trip. It's like, motherfucking shit. And I keep telling myself, okay, timing. Just keep remembering. You're right where you're supposed to be all the time. You're supposed to, whatever, and you're not supposed to sit in fear. You get invited somewhere, I'm supposed to sit back. No, this could happen, that could happen. Because that is been my challenge through a lot of this. Every motherfucking time. There's always some big thing that isn't going to happen. It's like, okay, I gotta trust. I'm supposed to go where I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to sit back and fear and hold myself back from living. And so, I'm going to go. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I guess one good thing is, even if it went to, look, if it's $40 for $5, okay, so if it's say if it's like $50 right now for if it's $5 a gallon and it's like $50 a tank of gas. So if that went to 15, then it would be $150 to fill up. And if it went, so it could just keep going up. So $150, so I would be able to get back home. But also, when that goes down, is that going to just bumper right up to our cards not working? And there's going to be this chaos thing because all our the bank has got to go down. And so none of our cards will work because it's this other system. And so then, but supposedly this other system's been getting set up in the background, this shadow system, this quantum thing is supposed to be ready to go. But there's all this stuff that has to happen to impact us. So we have to, it's like we have to have the punishment of where we were going so that it really impacts us. So we really get it. Like, yeah, fuck. So we got to have some like punishment to it. You know what I mean? As a society. Like, and it's a part of the awakening. It's part of your process. Every challenge we go through brings shit up. And so those things are what is supposed to be happening. That's the hand of God coming in, giving you opportunities to expand and grow. And so but when it goes down, so the cards won't work when the banks shut down. But there will be a period of time where people will think cash is still okay, because people just don't get it. They don't get what's going on at all. They are so confused, and that is the process we're going to have to go through, and it's going to be crazy. Oh my God, just think what we've already been going through, and they'll probably turn up some fucking towers and get people just to really go crazy. So more people have heart attacks, more anxiety. Oh my God. I just saw a fucking video of some guy, these protesters going across the whole street again. Only it was a giant ass group. Some big ass fucking truck just goes barreling through. It had a big old trailer on it. It's like, what in the holy hell? Now, I don't even know if there was so many people and so many people running. I don't even know if anybody got hurt. And then another car was going through. I can get the people in the car being irritated by these people blocking them off. It's like, we're just causing more problems for each other, you guys. How is that helping anything? Is it helping anything to go block other people from going to where they've got to get to? It's just like, this is not the actions. But that is what is going to take down the cities, what's going to cause all the destruction. So this is the way it's going to play out, because this is the way that humans are choosing to play it out. So, and any of us who wouldn't play it out that way, we're along for the ride, because we're learning to not be judgmental, I guess. It's intense, super intense. So the cash should work for a bit, because, yeah, people think that they just don't get it. And but once the currency goes, so then when the chaos is going to go, and I don't know, it seems kind of like it's going to be, Joe is going to get us in such a giant shit show. Everything's going to be collapsing. The money, the whole thing is going to be so outrageous that there's going to be some military stepping in and putting Trump. Like, I think that guy who was saying that stuff, I think he's accurate. I think that is kind of what, that they would put him up to be in there, but the military will start an investigation, because they've got to get the people to trust this, and they don't trust the politicians. This is the takedown of government. This is the end of the government, but they do trust the military, and that's why there's going to be tribunals and all this stuff like that. So the military will come in, and then they will say, hey, this is who was voted in anyways, because they already know that. That's why it's divided already. They already did that. And that is when they went, they saw the Congress and the judicial were both owned. And so that's when it's split. That's when we have a commander-in-chief and a president. So we have this separation of control. That's why it's like so much stuff is like, look, is it this side or is it this side? Who's it, because there's a whole thing going on. Like, there's so much arrest happening. Like, I keep seeing all sorts of stuff about crazy arrests. And, like, everything is blowing up. Everything is, I think, how explosive Hawaii is just, it's the barometer. It's the heart center, too, of the planet. And it's just heating up. And it's all going to explode. And then look how close we are to September 23rd. And all these people, I think it's a lot of the astrology people, too, saying about whatever with the planets aligning. Hold on. Sorry, cold. So the planets are aligning into this period of time where it's supposed to be this everything shifting. I don't even know all this stuff. Like, a lot of you guys probably know it more than I do. But you can go watch any of the astrology people. There's a whole thing too with astrology. There's a whole thing like, is it all, is it like, okay, so is it like the Aztecs or whatever? They had communication. So they understood this zodiac kind of thing or something. Because if it's in the firmament, like there's so many questions. Like if it's in the firmament, isn't, okay, so we have natural stuff. But would it be inside or would it be outside? Because if it's outside, it would have to do with everything in the universe. But everything's micro, macro. So even if we have a smaller part of it, it's the same system. It's the same thing. So it's like stars, but we look at stars differently because stars are energy. And so when the stars align and we're seeing these gods and stuff, like, I don't know. There's so much of this stuff that is just so, it's like so big. It's like you can see in the firmament and in the firmament too, and how they can go in and out. Like I've seen a lot of people, and I don't know if these are fake too, but there's a lot of spaceship stuff going on up in skies all over the place. So there's a lot of activity. The skies here by me look so weird. I can't see very good if there's spaceships or something, especially because of trees, but I feel really protected by the trees if shit is going to go down. And who knows what's going to go down. If it's going to be like this asteroid shower on us, which there were so many people having those kinds of dreams of these fire coming out of the sky. And it could be, you know, explosive. And that one time traveler guy, he had said that there's this electric hail that we're going to start having, this electric hailstorm. And that maybe it's something like that, you know, because even if he really is from the future, I mean, our stories are all distorted, you know. Do we know actual times? That time's always changing. They change calendars, they change clocks, they change all this shit. So when somebody's saying, oh, yeah, well, this date and this stuff may not be an accurate date to when something happened here, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I mean, I know time traveling is real. You know, I know that, you know, you could go into your consciousness and go into another life. I think that that's kind of what you're doing all the time when you're in dreams and stuff. It's other realms, other experiences that you're going, and it's learning in a different way. It's like, and being taught things in different ways. So it's all, just think about that too. Like our soul is so into learning and expansion that even when it never sleeps, it just goes all the time. It's energy. It can't sleep. It's just got to go. It's only these little glove things, these body things that they've got to recharge. And we haven't been taught how to recharge them. You know, I think that we should have been taught more about energy. Like, kids shouldn't be sitting in a goddamn school all day. And all that energy, too. And the goddamn government's probably fucking sucking it out. They probably create tension and shit in school. They probably just sell that energy to these other beings who feed off of it. Probably above all the schools and stuff is a feeding frenzy of a bunch of creepy looking energies. Like I don't know. It's creepy. Because that is this shit with stadiums and stuff. And fucking hell, man. I watched that Wicker Man last night. I was so goddamn creeped out. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember, like, when I was watching it. This happens all the time anyways. But, like, I don't remember the movie. So, but then there was some things I remembered. But not... I did not remember how fucking creepy it was, all this women cult thing, which was really weird to watch Barbie and then to go and watch that one. It's like fucking two sides of the coin. Like Barbie world is a happy place where women all are successful and have high position and love themselves and have everything they want. And then in this fucking creep ass goddamn woman world, oof, it was creepy as fuck. That creeps me out too. It just always has. I've talked about before, like the ceremony. It's so goddamn primitive. It is so, it kind of just like creeps me out how people are so primitive. And I don't know, if I wouldn't have these other beings talking to me my whole life, if I would have been that way, like if I would have been primitive like this and thinking, you know, we have to go out and burn 3 candles and turn to the left and stand and jump 3 times and, you know, all this shit. It's like, oh my God, there's a difference in that kind of, and then the tribal ceremonial of gratefulness, like gratitude, you know, going out and dancing and singing and celebrating out of gratitude. But things get twisted because then they give this gratitude and then they think that they're going to get something back. And when they don't get something back, if a weather occurrence happens, then they think that the gods aren't being kind back to them. And then they give an offering. And it's, so it's a whole fucking, it's just primitive. It's a primitive way of looking at life, to understand life and everything. And so when I see people, you know, going out, well, they want to celebrate, they want to be pagans, like all these women who are just so excited that they all want to be witches and stuff. Like, I get that whole thing, because when all of this awakening stuff started happening for me, my daughter, you know, kept saying, you know, grandma's a witch and stuff. And because I started understanding about energy and I started tuning into myself more, I stopped tuning outside and started tuning inside. And we are all witches. We are all that connected to these things. So, but the term and stuff, and just, it's just another label. It's just another thing that just is like, why do we keep wanting to be labeled? And, so, let me think what I was going to say, because all of the people who, man, it's weird when it gets lost like that. The people, I'll go back to the boomers thing again. Oh no, let me think. I can't look over there. So all of a sudden I see a monkey's face. Okay, let me think of what it was. Okay, so the gas and the oil, the fuck, it's irritating. The gas and the oil. Okay, well, if I just start talking about something. Because, okay, so so the Wicker Man. So, and to really start seeing, like, I didn't realize Burning Man was, like this pagan ceremony thing. I didn't know they had this whole thing. I mean, maybe if I had heard it, it just didn't sink in and I didn't, you know. I mean, like, I can't say if somebody, you know, were to come up and go, yeah, I told you that 10 years ago. They're like, well, it's just, I have a lot of conversations ever since my brain injury where people tell me that they told me something or something, but it's gone. It's gone. So if you told me, I mean, it's new information to this brain. You know, whether I was told it, you know, that's what happens when your memory gets fucked up. And so I don't remember seeing it. I mean, I don't remember whatever the fuck I was talking about. But anyways, so this cult people. Oh yeah, about Burning Man. So I don't remember if somebody had told me a long time ago that they do this whole fucking ceremony. And then when I saw that guy talking, he goes, yeah, we're going to do the burn. They didn't call it the straw. Maybe they called it the straw man. The burn man? They call it something, man. They're going to burn up that man. It's like made out of, it's just like the Wicker Man thing. It's creepy. And then they all go out there and dance around it, just like in that fucking show. It's creepy. And then when you watch the cult people all going, and then how all of those people all like, when that guy was like, they all have dread, like it is kind of culty. Like they all, like it's not like a bunch of different people. They're all very similar group, which is culty. And then fuck, there is so much stuff. It's like, why do people not recognize it in themselves? Why don't they see, like, I'm just being with all these people who I'm preaching about diversity, but am I diverse? Am I just have everybody as my friend who is all exactly like me, you know? And then there's so much with this division and shit. Like, there was so much division over Burning Man between the two groups. How they just kept saying rude shit to each other. I had a couple people come in and try and say something to me about something I said, and that's just not true. It's like, can talk about my opinion. I don't give a fuck. If my opinion is that it's not good to go out there and let the government contain you for any goddamn thing. Chris Rock obviously didn't think it was good. He obviously made it his escape and jumped in some fucking back of somebody's pickup. So, you know, I think, yeah, I wouldn't want to fucking be contained. I don't think that's good. So, and I think, you know, if you're all just all partying and high and you're not even paying attention, and I mean, obviously, you know, you believe in climate change and you don't think the government is poisoning us all. And you're all sitting there all, and damn fucking, you don't even understand the CIA. There's so many things. Like every single one of them could have been given a certain, fuck, oh, damn. Okay, so yeah, there could be like certain groups that they think, oh, this is a certain group and they're feeding people, but it's really a operative group that is a plant that is feeding them something that will interfere with something else later. There's that whole thing, but they're just so, oh, we're burners, man, we're burners, we just trust each other. I was like, well, that's an easy group to infiltrate. Look, have you ever watched a goddamn movie? And then maybe they just watch the ones that program them. They don't watch them ever with a suspicious mind. You gotta have a suspicious mind. And then, so then also about, because they all do those synthetic, and I mean, how many people out there selling them? Fuck. There's so much of that. And that's operative, easy infiltration. Fuck. I mean, all you gotta do is buy a goddamn ticket. Anybody can go. Like, and you fucking, I can go in the goddamn store and put it in Tylenol. Like, what? And it's like the same thing. It's like, do you not understand and who we're at war with? Like, what? Let's all just go out and party. Well, that is, you know, that's some people's mindset. And that is some people's, there's so many different things. It can be their downfall. It can be their lesson. There's a lot of things going on because it's all different for all different people. But definitely, you know, anything could have gone down, and it could have totally been a test. How many people can we contain and how quick? How about a storm? Like, they're always checking and testing and trying to decide. It's all about controlling, containing. And there's all sorts of camps popping up. There's, I saw footage of trains going through towns just full of military stuff. Like, something's about to go down. I mean, it has to. Like, it's the gas thing. Like, everything has to, because this government has to go down. That's the way that we go into the future, is releasing all of this old. And there's just so much coming out about the government, like so different, you know, and it has to go back to local. And then, you know, in the movies and shit, it shows all the time. What was that one? That one was Marlon Brando, Robert Redford, Jane Fonda. Like, it had fucking a cast, man. It's called The Chase. And it was on, I watched it on YouTube. And I'd never heard of it before. But it was Same fucking thing. The person in the town who has all the money and the corruption and tries to buy the sheriff and has all got everybody in his pocket and everybody's got to do what, you know. This is what they have done over and over. That's why all of our government, and that's where it starts. That we don't need anything past that. We just need people, the people in the communities to participate in their community, not these overlords that are controlling everybody in a backroom deal. And so we've got where we have to be assertive in our lives. We have to, you know, take this step towards independence. That's what all this shit going on is all about, is about us being pushed, because we all just became compliant. We all just sat back and just were like, you know, whatever. And then they just, they got so, kept pushing and pushing and pushing. They kept moving the line. We never would draw one. We just step back, another step back, another step. They draw another line. And now we're to this point. We're backed up against a corner. And the only thing is because it's this changing of the ages in this hand of God, this energy sweep that's going to sweep us the other direction, is when we're backed up against the corner, and when there's just nothing left and this is it, that's when it's going to sweep over. And but there's going to still be, you know, a lot of endings in the storm, because it is like it's like a tsunami wave of energy. And that is where these people who are watching the energy coming into the planet and shit like that, like with the Schumann and the solar flares and all that stuff. The only thing is when I go in and I listen to those people, a lot of times they're talking about outer space and all this, like, oh my God. So that's why, like, that's why I keep on saying, like, you go listen to somebody and they'll be talking about something, and all of a sudden it just goes like there could be somebody, you know, who's sitting there listening to me thinking, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden I say, you know, I don't believe about Jesus. And then I lost them there. So, you know, we aren't all perfectly in alignment. And so I get, you know, that not everybody's going to see things like me. As there's a girl too that I really like. And she always tells weird stories. She tells a lot of cool stuff. She's got tattoos all over her face. And a lot of times she always had her hair back really tight. There's a lot of people who kind of tried to have like an AI look. Like, and right now, you know, as the celebrities are in strike fighting against this system that wants to just own their image and just have CGI, like, we don't need you anymore. We got your image, and the whole image. We got your follow. We got the whole thing. It's like, oh my God. Just like how they created these idols just so that they could steal their identities, like, and but at the same time that's all going on, there's the hit song out is made by an AI person, I don't even know what the fuck to call them, an AI female girl singer that looks like a cartoon. Its voices are all based on other people's voices, that they took these other people's voices and meshed them up and made a new voice for this person. I don't even know what her image is based on. She was kind of cartoony looking to me. She was a huge following, hit song. And the news reporter was just like, what is happening? You know, I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you're going to be replaced the same fucking way. They don't need you. They're just going to put up, I think some places are already doing it. There's one woman who keeps doing this video of, she's at the pool and the lifeguard, as she starts showing, because the lifeguard, this is trippy. It is trippy because the lifeguard is moving like, just fucking like a robot. Just the same fucking movements over and over. It's so robotic. It's so weird. And so this woman, she's getting other people, come and look at this. This is a robot. She's freaking the fuck out. And then the girl, one of the videos, She turns her glasses down, and the woman is like, see, somebody's running her. They're looking at me. It's so weird. And they start talking. And the robot girl, I don't know. Is she just a weird girl? Like, I don't know. Things are so fucking weird. And like that girl, maybe she's in a different like vibration of the realm or something. Maybe we're all vibrating at different vibrations. And we are moving different. Like, I don't know. Shit is so fucking weird. But the lifeguard girl kind of like, I don't know what you're saying. And then turns and just starts, it's weird. It's fucking weird as fuck. And, but that's going to start being everywhere. They don't need it. What they don't give a fuck. Because what they created was a bunch of consumers. And then they want to throw it back up in our faces. We've over-consumed. We've taken and stuff we didn't ever even need to be consuming like this. They're the ones that came up with all this shit. They're the ones that came up. We'd have to have a safety wrapping. We've got to buy all our food from these corporations. Like, they came up with all of this. And now, you know, it's too much for them. They just as soon hurry up and just, you know, get rid of most of us and call us useless leaders. Like, man, I know Gator's got to be gone. He's got to be gone. But Jesus Christ, this fucking, his persona, now we're going to cut down the forest and we're not even going to keep the wood. We're not even going to use the wood. We're just going to bury it. We're just going to bury it. We're going to cut down all the forest and bury it and probably put up a cement city because, you know, it's weird. It's so weird. It's so weird how there's people who don't know that nature is what you are. Like, they're killing all of nature. And people is like, don't get that you're a part of what they're killing. They're doing it. They're killing it all. And, but, you know, this is a part of the, you know, up against the wall. You know, we're going to cut down all the forests. We're going to put you all in 15 minutes. We're going to make your sardine can even smaller. I swear to God, that fucking Hong Kong, I swear, I just know that's where they really want us all. You know, pay $3,000 a month for a dog crate in a hall. That's, you know, and be happy you have it. Like, they fucking burned down all goddamn Hawaii and then start arresting the people because they got nowhere to go while FEMA stays in hotels and all the tourists and shit. They haven't cleared out every goddamn hotel. Like, these corporations don't give a fuck. They aren't housing all these motherfuckers. They aren't taking every single one of these unhoused people and putting them up in hotels as part of being a Hawaiian establishment and supporting its own. It's so fucking sick. It's so sick, and these people are just keep going on vacation. Don't give a fuck. You got, you know, kids out crying and screaming at the cops. It's just, you know, that's another thing, you know, kids know, you know, this isn't right. This isn't right. Everything they're doing is not right. They just move the line, and they want all the land, and they want all the control, and all they fucking want is our energy. And at this point, they don't want our consumerism part anymore. They want a few, because they do have, you know, they do have their entertainment stuff they need. And they do need, you know, they need to have a herd. It wouldn't surprise me if they fucking did start doing that, branding us. Like, I wouldn't, but how many people just step on in? You know, they've done it before, numbered people. So, but luckily that's not where we're going. It's just where these twisted people always want to take us. But luckily we got this energy sweep that's going to turn everything. It's just going to be hard. It's going to be, because so many people aren't going to see it coming. There's like this money thing and stuff. I sent the one video of the guy talking about that, you know, what's going on really behind the scenes while nobody's paying attention is that they just, whatever, with the petrol, and it isn't just the petrol dollar. They'd already done that. This is a new thing now where, because they'd already made it where the dollar, you had to have 55 of them to value one. So that is going to drive up the price. But now it is, they put another thing on how it would be for us to be able to get gas or oil. And so they're going to, but it's all a part of the collapse. So see, it's all a part of it. It's just like when you see the things coming, it's like, ooh, look, I didn't know it was going to go down that way. So, but you got to look at it too as like, that's going to trap us again. That's going to keep us safe. It's essentially it's going to keep you safe. And I saw a video of somebody who, it was weird because I had seen all those people being loaded, and I was seeing a video of this person out going, you know, all these people who have landed. This is in Texas. So they're just filled everywhere, all over in the fields. And then people go up and start asking them, who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing here? And when they're going down, it is all men, like fucking 20 to 30-year-old men. And all of them, almost everyone, it was New York or California. They're all, and they were from all over the place. They were from India, they were from Africa, they were from all over the place. And that's what I'm saying. Not all of them are going to come. They may have got where they told them, you know, that they'll give them a ride over there, but they need to, you know, commit crimes or whatever that they tell them to do. You know, that they have to meet up with their officer in charge when they get there or something, you know, meet up at these camp places like in New York. They've got it all set up. And I'm sure in California too. So they know where to go and then they get their contact. But I think a lot of them are going to go AWOL. I think a lot of them are just going to be like, fuck, I'm free. I'm going to go be free. I'm going to go, because they're also leaving control. And this is the awakening. So when I was seeing a lot of those guys, they just didn't have a mean look on their face. They just looked kind of sneaky, like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think every single one of the people who have come across are, but, you know, the ones who have come across, who there's a ton of them who came across to hurt us, to cause chaos, to blow up things, to take people, all sorts of stuff. And I don't know if I had already said about the video I had seen about the guy at the rest stop, and a truck pulls up. So it's 2:30 at night, and he's sitting there, and a truck pulls up, and he wasn't asleep. He was just kind of sitting there, and he said, so he noticed this big truck pulls up, and it's like a pickup kind of thing, but it has a thing on the back. But it's more like a more like the smallest U-Haul kind of truck. Only it didn't look like a U-Haul. Like it wasn't colored like that. It seemed like it was just like kind of, it seemed like it was red or something. I don't know. There was a lot of lights flashing at some point. But anyways, so the guy said that two people got out of the car, a man and a woman, got out of the car. They go to the back of the truck. They open the truck. Then there's a cage. They open the cage and then rush 15 kids out into the bathroom. And then when they finished, rushed them back in, locked them back up, locked it up. And then they were sitting there, and then they saw the guy was watching them. And he was on the phone. So they took off. And on the phone call, they said, follow him. And just a minute, Stella, hold on. They followed him. And so he was following, but he said that he was going 70. He couldn't keep up. They were going so fast. But he kept on the thing telling them, so they got, cops pulled him over. They got ahead of him or something and got him. And so he caught up and they got there and stuff. And 5 of the kids were kids that were missing right then. So, you know, I was like, fuck. You know, when you're out at night, I just got to pay attention to weird, like they're just transporting them around. That is also something that's supposed to come out about the trains, why there's been so much of this train stuff, train derail, all that stuff, because of all of the criminal stuff that they were moving around on the trains. They've been moving stuff under the tunnels. Like, oh, fuck, this place has been a fucking enterprise of crime. And we all have just been trying to make it. And then just drive up the prices and drive up the prices. Like, I can't wait for this crash, man. This crash is going to bring us back to where we all want to be. But it's going to be hard because people are going to feel like, I've worked so hard. I've done all this for nothing. And everything's taken away from me. But that whole thing is like, that's because we all let go of it. It's the past. It's bad. It's toxic energy. Y'all let go of that stuff and know that there's good coming. There's going to be so much. There's going to be so much goodness. So many things given back to humanity, given back to the people. So I was like, fucking stabbing me right here. I don't know if I even said about the pilots too. I don't know if I had talked about this, but the pilots have to go in every 6 months and get a full physical in order to keep their license. And so they're not allowed to fly unless they can pass their physicals. And so they had to get them all the time. And so then they mandated those, all of that stuff. And they had to get all of them. He said that they were on their, they were about to get that one when somebody had, it started being a bunch of them were going in. They couldn't pass their 6 month thing. They couldn't pass the physical anymore. Nobody could pass the physical. He said all of a sudden everybody started having attacks in this part, your heart center. And everybody was having that. And everybody's EKGs were coming back jacked. He said all of them have heart damage now, so that they had to lower the standards on the people flying around. So now they had to change it in order to allow them to keep going, because before it was a higher standard. You couldn't have this, you couldn't have this, you couldn't have this. Now it's like, yeah, you could be about to die and get out there and fly this plane. And so that's why they're all standing up and saying, we're not taking any more. We don't care. We won't, no way. Because they are all, they're all experiencing the damage. And two, man, like, were they all getting the same lot number? I swear it has to do with the lot number. Like, if you've had any of those things and you're just like, oh my God, if you can look up on your paperwork and you find your lot number, you can go into, there's a website, it might be CDC or something like that, I don't know. But you can go look up your lot number, and then there's a place that shows what other people send in. Because you could have one of the lot numbers that was had nothing in it. There was some placebo ones, I guess, apparently. And there was also some nurses that were just putting saline. They weren't even given the real stuff. So there's a lot of, the whole thing is, everything is to get us to focus on our health, to get us to realize, like, you can't trust somebody else. You can't trust somebody else with your health. I saw this other doctor, and his health had declined so much. He was so sick. That was the same thing with Gundry, too. This guy had gotten so sick. He was so overweight. He had so many problems. His kids made fun of him. And then and this is what I try and tell people, is that, so then he went paleo. He changed his diet and he went paleo, and his whole body shifted. Everything started healing. Everything started changing. He has got no symptoms. He's not overweight. He's just like, it's just like reversed aged him. And that is why I'm always saying, you don't just go be vegan because somebody tells you. You're DNA, your body, you got to listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs. It's not, the fucking government doesn't know what your goddamn body needs. They don't know they're generalizing, they're labeling, they're scheduling. It's all a fucking scheme. So you got to tune into your own body. You got to listen to what is your body telling you it wants. And that's another thing with getting through the noises and the impulses and stuff. When it's telling you, well, I want this, well, I want that. Like, lately my body is just like there's these cravings, like, man, if I had a bag of chips right now, fuck, I'd eat those chips up. If I had a fucking bag of ding dongs right now. I'd eat those fucking like it just starts going into this like craving of just junk. And I don't know what, I'm sure that's the stuff that's in it, but that I think is also the parasites. It's the something else. It's not just necessarily your body is hungry. When you get these weird kind of things like that, especially sugary things. And so that is where you have to start deciphering the communication between you and your body. You have to see like, well, am I really hungry? And okay, just a minute. I figure out like if you're really hungry or, but my body's always telling me like what to eat. Like, oh, have this. And it's like, oh my God, I hadn't even thought of that. Like the other day, I was like I said, I've been like basically cleaning out my fridge. Like it's pretty empty. And I'm supposed to make everything. And I was, so it's down to like weird stuff, making weird stuff. And carrots. So I forgot all about like carrot. I think it's called carrot salad or something like that. Carrot, I don't remember what it's called. It was popular back when I was younger. But so carrots and then raisins. I had 2 different kinds of raisins. And then I had some walnuts, cut those up. I had an apple, cut that up. And so made like this raisin salad and then put in sugar and mayonnaise and sour cream. It was really good. I ate it a couple of days, but then I think about like, oh my gosh, how many different nutritions? Like they're always you just got to tune in for yourself, to your own, and then you'll start noticing. But I wasn't surprised at all when that guy said just him changing his diet, and he said all of us doctors were lied to. He said I was as arrogant as any of them, and he said, it is about diet and lifestyle and stuff. And it is, but it isn't for somebody else. It's not, we don't all have matching diet and lifestyles. You're a unique person. You're a sovereign being. You are a very specific in your DNA structure. And who you are is it's you. It's only you. And so, and that is so curious. It is very curious about the souls that come out of a higher self, like, and how many souls have been sovereign for a long time and how many are just becoming sovereign. That could be why there's so many different levels, because there's some that have done ascension before, have become sovereign before. And then and I bet you that is why, there's the ones that are here as the teachers. It's because they've done it before. They've gone through it before, and so they're here to teach it now. It just drives me crazy how it just is like, the chosen and stuff, because it isn't like, oh, okay, you're the chosen. Now you guys are all ordained as the chosen in this new world or something. No, it is everybody who is learning and growing and all of that stuff, you are a seeder. You're bringing in, you're planting a seed into the new world. You're bringing in whatever you're bringing in. You won't be able to bring in toxicity, but you're bringing in your information, your learning, what you have learned through all of this. You're seeding it into a new world. And so the people who are actively like that, those are the seeders of the new world. And, after it's all said and done, supposedly it's only going to be half the people. But I don't know if there's some places that are like India or something. If there's going to be some places that have been there a long time and they're all going to leave and maybe go back to their home planet. Maybe they all come from the same place. Because there is a lot of tribes that are, like hybrids from other places and stuff. So, anything can happen. And it's, anything can happen over what's going to go down. This is like the whole world is going to open up. But that's the thing, is like, it doesn't matter if you're not a part of this, going through all of the challenges and stuff, as being one of the seeders, because it's about going through the challenges and bringing it forward, the the information. It's the information that the new people need of the old world. And so it's that is coming forward. And so, where people get all like, well, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. There's nothing wrong with dying. It's just getting out of the game and coming in a different door. So, and I still think during this time, you're going to stay yourself. You're going to be yourself through the whole thing. So you will still come back in. If you come back into the age of Aquarius, you don't necessarily have to come back in. Like if I'm Kelly and I'm here and then I die out of this game. And then I go to the age of Aquarius, and then the people who go through all the stuff, the seeders who go through all of the stuff, who get up there, and it's like a merging of the two worlds. And then all of the people who are already there I would still be Kelly. I would still be myself. So, I don't have to get rebirthed in and start a new thing. I can be the same as I was. And that is where I think it is. This is just how I see it. That where the living and the dead are together again, walking in heaven on earth. That is supposed to be. But it's because the earth vibration is changing so that we can see what's always been around us. It's just we haven't been able to see because we had to not have distractions. We had to be focused on the game. And but now we get to open up but we have to go through this expansion to be able to even comprehend it all, to be comfortable. I mean, there's people losing their goddamn minds already, fuck. Spaceships start landing and shit. Who knows what'll happen? Like, I don't know how it's all gonna go down, but to me, just keep on expecting anything, but just keep your eye on the prize. And just if you're not here as to go through and be in that part of it, just know if you come out of your body. I think that people think, well, I don't want to die. I got to be here. But you got to see that there's nothing, death isn't real. And so if you find yourself out of your body, there's nothing you did wrong. You didn't fail or anything. You just have to use your mind. Remember, as soon as you get your bearings, as soon as it clicks, then you start controlling yourself. Just like you're in a dream. It's just like lucid dreaming. So you just move yourself around. And I think just start out by going and visiting familiar places, familiar people. But, just be aware you can get really caught up in their pain. And that is, that can hold you. And so you want to be, you can just, if you find yourself out of your body, you can just say, hey, I need somebody to come over here and direct me. And you'll have somebody there instantly. And then you can say, I'm just confused right now. I just want to get to the age of Aquarius. I want to go find my friends. Just do that and see, see what they say. But, just don't. I think so much people get confused when they come out of their bodies because they've been so programmed to think that they're dead, that they died, and then they're confused. Just like when I came out of my body, I was so confused because I felt so real. Nothing felt different. I was so surprised when I looked back and saw my body laying there. And so it is, it's just, people can be confused, and there's going to be a lot of people leaving. And so, but people have got to just understand there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. Death isn't real. It's just, going from one room to the next. And this vibration is going to be changing, so it will be a lot more available, So anyways, there's going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be all good. But we still have all of this part to get through. All of this part is, and it's going to, if the gas goes like that, and everything starts going, like food, everything, It's going to skyrocket. Just keep in mind, there's going to be so much tension. There's going to be so much fear. There's going to be so much anger. There's going to be so much disappointment. There's going to be so much emotion. And just keep on remembering, okay, it's temporary. It's temporary. No matter how much people are caught up, just keep remembering, this is temporary. This is temporary. It's very temporary. This is only going to be so that they're all impacted. Just as you're watching them all, just keep thinking, okay, this is for their benefits. They'll let them, really get the feeling, because they got to let go of this. They've got to move through this energy. They got to let it go and, get to a better place. And there's just so much that we hold on to. There's so much that we think that we need, So there's just a lot of, re-identifying our needs, re-identifying ourselves. And but we have to have the things pulled from us. Otherwise, we just keep on sitting there, just keep sitting there taking abuse and stepping back. And, but this is a time of change. And so, but because people are so compliant, the universe has to, that hand of God has to sweep in and just tear shit up, push people into uncomfortable places, push them to places where they don't want to be so that they make changes in their life and they face themselves. The big part of it is so that you can see this other side of yourself, so you can find balance, so you don't have a hidden side to yourself, that you're aware. And that is a big part of all of it too. So anyways, I'm about to be going. Plus my butt, fuck. I don't get, I even put a pillow. I have a blanket and a pillow piled on top of the other one. Fucking feels like the Princess and the Pea. Oh my God, what the hell? So, I don't know. I don't even know. Some of these days it starts, it's like, oh my God, what is it? 4:48. 4. And now it's like all day. I guess I'll just probably pack and stuff. And I'm not stressed. And, I'm going to be leaving. And then gas could go, anything could happen. I just hope it happens after I get home. But if it happens while I'm out, I'm not supposed to be here. And there could be a good reason. Fuck, I don't know. Maybe my town's going to get lasered. We don't ever know. We never know. We just got to keep trusting right where we're supposed to be. And if we're in the place, I just saw a cool video too. I've talked about this so much because you have a set time. You don't need this. You don't need anything. You have a set time. And if you get sick, it's so you can heal. And so this guy did this video, and it was all these near misses. There was, oh my gosh, so crazy of people, trains, cars almost hitting people and trains and stuff, crazy ones. Oh my gosh. And, miraculous. And so, but it is because it's not a near miss. It's because it's not your time. So yeah, of course it's going to seem like a near miss because but it's not your time. And that's what we got to get comfortable with. And when it is our time, we got a quick out that can come and take us. And if we don't have a quick out, then we have a slow one, because it is a part of the process. It's a part of the lessons. It's part of our own lessons. It's part of the lessons of the people around us. It all has reason. It all has meaning. It all has purpose. Nothing is by mistake. Nothing is by accident. Everything is completely, it's perfect. And we all have so much purpose in the world, and we just don't realize it because, they had to beat us down. But anyways, it's all changing, and everybody is realizing who they are. Even kids in high school are saying, what are we doing here? Why are we sitting here all day? There's so many different things that people could be doing, and kids need to be learning skills, especially at that age. Sit there and just do math and talk about history and talk about gender reassignment, just nonsense shit. And then the whole time you got it where am I going to get a job? How am I going to make money? When am I going to move out? How am I going to get a car? Where am I going to buy my gas? How am I going to get insurance? Those kids don't give a fuck. They're not being taught anything to help them. And I don't know, it's the teachers are just so used to it because that's what happened when they went to school. And then they had to go to school further and stuff, but they don't even realize but you have some young fucking teachers in school just doing weird shit too. Weird shit. How proud they are to not have an American flag in their room and how excited they are that the pentagram in their Satan class, after school Satan class, is filled up. You know, it's like, it's weird. It's just so weird. And how many of these people just send their kids to school and don't even, and then you got so much shit going down on buses now, and kids and stuff. Kids won't even behave. Women losing their minds while they're driving the buses. Kids just doing whatever the fuck they want. Like, it's things are so chaotic. Things are so out of control. But these are all the things. Like, when we all look at it as a big lump thing, it's just like, ooh, fuck. It's like standing back in a field and looking at this scary storm. But it's the things that you experience, those are the things that are a part of our lessons. Like, there's an overall, you know, it's where it's like an overall trust, an overall, you know, remembering, you know, nothing can hurt you. Like, there's a lot of different things, but the impactful things are what happens in your orbit, what happens to you, what affects you. Like, and you know, another thing too is HOAs, all of this shit. See, we got to stop. I haven't paid that either. We got to go up against every single agent. Nobody has any right to tell us anything. All these things, developers developing neighborhoods to control us over what color our house, all this shit is all coming from that man at the top who's controlling it. And that's where we have to just start standing up to every single thing. It's like, no, I'm not paying dues to something that is, I don't approve. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't care. It's not a community. It's a control institution. It's part of the government institution. It's all this control. And we got to break free from the control. And that is going to be, this is the collapse. And the top government people, I think they're all fucking arrested. They are fucking robots out there, like McConnell, just fucking Feinstein. She's oh god, she looks fucking scary. All that, the Penguin, all of them, they're probably all just stand-ins. They're all probably CGI or clones or something. I don't know. The whole fucking thing is weird. I just can't wait for it to be open. And I sure the fuck hope that this is the September where shit goes down. So, I don't know. What is today? Wednesday, the middle of the week. So, look, if the gas is, if shit is going to, you can't even overthink it. You can't even look ahead. You can't think, well, I hope this, I hope that. It's like, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's all right. Just got to, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. If I don't notice, if I don't, whatever's supposed to happen, that's the way it's supposed to happen. I mean, I'm driving myself crazy all day long. Well, what about that? If I did this, if I did that, well, if I called that, it's like, fuck, we got no control. The only thing that we can control is our attitudes, our minds, how we feel about, you know, it's us. That's the only thing. We can't control about what's going on. We can't control the ride. We can't control the game. We can only control our attitude and how we feel going through it. So anyways, we'll just see how this day goes. Another day, another month, like, this is just the longest thing. I can't even believe it. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.